These 10 cars are being discontinued in 2026. Let's run through them right now. First on the list, Dad, the Cadillac XT5. Production of the XT5 ends in late 2026. Cadillac also recently got rid of the XT4 in 2025. And so you can see here, Dad, Cadillac trimming their lineup.
But yes, won't they just be going all electric, and that would be the reason for the discontinuation of this particular product?
Yeah, the XT5 and also the XT6, it's number 2 on our list, Dad. It's ending production even sooner. 2025 is the last model year for the XT6. And yes, this is because Cadillac is doing this push as they do more EV production, which is also interesting because GM just repurposed one of their plants that they said was for EVs to be back for internal combustion engine vehicles. So we'll see what happens here. But there you go, 2 Cadillac products that are going to be discontinued in 2026. Another on the list, Dad, at number 3, the Ford Escape. The Ford Escape's last model year will be 2025. Ford's getting rid of one of their top-selling models from the past 2 decades. Kind of surprising.
Yeah, I would think so. They don't have very many smaller vehicles that they offer anymore, so it kind of sort of seems counterintuitive to do away with the Escape. But then again, what do I know?
Well, Dad, it's similar to what Cadillac's doing. They're getting rid of the Escape to produce more electric vehicles. But again, Ford has been one of those other automakers that's leaned back into internal combustion engine and hybrid powertrains and a little less on EVs as of late. So it'll be interesting, to see how many of these would-be discontinued vehicles end up not being discontinued. But for the moment, Ford is ending production in the 2025 model year for the Escape. Another one that might be surprising to be on this list, another sedan. Number 4, the Nissan Altima. It bites the dust, Dad. Dad, back during the mid-2000s, everyone was driving a Nissan Altima, but it is discontinued in 2026 as Nissan is trying to focus their model lineup on the most profitable vehicles.
I want to say that I believe the Altima has been around for 30, 40 years or more. I sort of remember the Nissan Altima when I was running Nissan stores.
Yeah, Dad. And also Nissan has gotten rid of the Maxima in the recent past. I think it was just last year. So Nissan really demonstrating here the end of sedans. The broader auto industry has demonstrated the end of sedans, but Nissan getting rid of the Altima is a big deal here because, again, they got rid of the Maxima just last year.
It almost seems as if Nissan's doing away with Nissan.
Another Nissan going by the wayside in 2026, Pops, the Nissan Versa, one of the few vehicles that in 2025 you could get under $20,000. Even though it's that affordable, it is not going to survive. It'll be discontinued in 2026 because of those low profit margins and not a lot of demand for these affordable and small sedans. So a sad sign of the times that an affordable vehicle, a sub $20,000 vehicle in many cases, will no longer be in existence in 2026.
Kind of goes the way of the Mitsubishi Mirage, which was another sub $20,000 vehicle that's being discontinued.
Yes. Now Porsche joining in on the fun, Dad. Porsche is actually retiring the 718 Boxster and Cayman variants in 2026 as well. After 2025, they are going to be replaced with an all-electric successor in the coming years. So it's super interesting to see here, even Porsche, similar to what we saw with Cadillac and what we saw with Ford, making a decision to get rid of a tried and tested internal combustion engine option that has sold for a long time very well in exchange for an electric variant that it's unclear how it will sell, but that's the strategy, at least for the moment.
Well, if you consider how well the Taycan is selling, then it should give you some idea as to how well the electric version of these vehicles will sell moving forward.
Okay, again, I will just reiterate, this is the list right now of vehicles being discontinued. I would not be surprised, and I don't know, we'll throw it up on the screen. It was very recent that Ram brought back the V8 Hemi, okay? So we have seen these automakers oscillate back and forth, but for the moment, these are the vehicles being discontinued in 2026. Another Porsche on the list, at the Porsche Macan, the gas-powered variant of the Macan goes by the wayside. After 2025, you will not be able to get your hands on a new gas-powered Macan. They are going to be all electric for the remainder of the decade. At least that's what Porsche says for the Porsche Macan. So that's one of their more volume sellers over at Porsche, and it will no longer exist as a gas-powered variant. Are you surprised by this?
Yes, very much so. Maybe Porsches sell differently in Europe than they do in the United States. And I understand that the United States market is in many ways completely different than the European market because we know that the EV vehicles are really having a tough time here in the States, not so much in Europe. But it just seems to me that all those who might want a Porsche moving forward, they're not looking for an EV Porsche. They're looking for an internal combustion engine Porsche.
Exactly. Well, another internal combustion engine vehicle going by the wayside, Toyota getting in on the fun, Dad, the GR Supra. It will no longer be in production by the end of 2026. So your last model year run will be next year for the GR Supra. Obviously, folks were really excited, those that are diehard Toyota fans, when this vehicle came into production, but a relatively short production run, no longer going to be in service or in production, excuse me, from Toyota after next year.
I guess that shows that sometimes, just sometimes, there are certain sports cars out there that when their time is up, their time is up.
Now, another sedan that will no longer be in production, the Volvo S90. A lot of people probably don't even know the Volvo S90 exists, but because of rising tariff costs and obviously a pullback from sedans, Volvo has decided to no longer produce the S90. So this vehicle, you will no longer see new ones on the road in 2026.
Well, that's just for the United States market, I believe. They'll still be making the S90 for the European market, but it is, from when the one you had, it is a really lovely, wonderful car. Well, and unfortunately doesn't sell very well, so it won't be missed by many, but those who have had them love them.
Yeah, I mean, I used to own a Volvo S90, sold it to Carvana, I don't know, like 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. So anyway, you can go watch that video if you're interested. Now, a vehicle that's kind of technically no longer going to be in production in 2026, the Audi A4. It's similar to the others that we've described here. It's going to be replaced with electrified options instead of internal combustion engine and hybrid options. So another sedan going by the wayside in exchange for an electric variant. So, Dad, let's talk a little bit here for a moment. If I'm interested, if I'm in the market and I'm interested for a vehicle that is due to be discontinued in 2026, does that influence or change any aspect of my negotiations or expectations I should have about the deal I can get? Or should I even be considering vehicles that are on the verge of being discontinued?
If your desire is to have an internal combustion engine vehicle, and you know that the vehicle that you're thinking about is going to be replaced by an electrified version of that, then that could influence your decision to do something sooner rather than later. If the idea behind it is that they just don't sell very well, well, whatever ones will be remaining, you should be able to get a good deal on, because dealers would be motivated, knowing that they're being discontinued. They would be extremely motivated to get their on-hand inventory into your driveway as opposed to keep it in their driveway.
Exactly. So there actually are some opportunities here with some of these vehicles that are going to be discontinued. And if you're a savvy shopper, you might be able to take advantage of it. You can check out all of this information and so much more back on the guide that we wrote for this data. Just click the link in the top of the description. You can get your hands on that. Pops, thanks for running through the top 10 discontinued vehicles in 2026. Appreciate your time as always.
Thanks for sharing that with me and, well, disappointing me to a certain degree.